with Mama Hedgehog. This is a 3 times a week stream that happens every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday between 7:30 and about 8:30, with music at 7:30 to 8 o'clock and a story about 10 minutes after 8. So tonight, our accessibility coordinator is not feeling good, so we're not going to have live captions tonight, unfortunately. But if you want to check back in later, we will be captioning the video once it posts to YouTube. And I do apologize for not being fully accessible from the start. We are working with limited resources, and we'll make it as accessible as we can, as quickly as we can. So, this is the story section of our stream, and I'm very excited for our story tonight, so let's start. So, once upon a time, in a world very far away and very close at the same time, there was a place. The place was full of soft red fire and golden flickering light. It was somehow both dark and light at the same time, close and warm and comforting. And in this place, there lived a very small creature who was waiting to be born. The creature did not know what it was. It wasn't quite sure who it was, but it knew that the fire was warm and bright around it, and sometimes, as it lay curled up, waiting to be born, it heard a voice singing. Whisper through the fire, I have seen your light. Rest here in my heart, my love. I'll make the world all right. It didn't know who was singing, but it thought that it was beautiful. Now, one day, when the creature was growing larger, it started to feel very cramped in its small, warm place, and it pushed against the walls. Nothing happened. So it pushed harder. Nothing happened. It strained with all its might. It just wanted to stretch. If you have ever woken up in the morning and stretched your arms and your legs, you will know how this creature felt. Except it couldn't. It couldn't stretch, and it was very uncomfortable. Suddenly, the warm, bright place did not feel nice at all. It just wanted to stretch. So it pushed even harder than it thought it could have. And there was a tiny crack. The creature wondered, what did that mean? So it pushed again. There was another crack. The creature pushed again. And now there were more than one crack. Crack, crack, crack. Something cool brushed against the creature's skin, and it shivered. Something was changing. What was happening? The creature still really wanted to stretch, though, so it pushed again as hard as it could, and there was a great crack! And the creature tumbled out of the warm, bright place into somewhere cold and dark. And the creature lay there on the ground and looked around. It was very dim. No warm fire burned around it. It tried to find the warm, bright place to crawl back into it. It didn't think stretching was such a good idea anymore. But the warm, bright place was gone, and all it could find were pieces of broken shell. The creature cried a little and felt very sad and alone without its safe, warm, bright place to hide in. And then it looked up. And there, off in the distance, it saw a light. It wasn't red and golden. It was pale and gray. But the creature thought, pale gray fire is better than no fire. And it started crawling towards the light. As it was crawling, it felt something on its shoulders, and it twitched. 2 wings flapped out from its shoulders. It was very intrigued and wondered what they were for. So it tried and found it could move them. And when it moved them, the creature lifted up off the floor a little bit and hopped forward a few steps worth. The creature was like, oh, this is exciting. So it spread its wings and flew. Not very well. It went more like short hopping flights at first. But by the time it reached the mouth of the cave, they were getting longer and longer. And when it reached the mouth of the cave, it was flying, and it flew out and tumbled down onto a rocky hillside. The creature scrambled to its feet and looked all around. Where am I? Thought the creature. This is not fire. This is not warm. This is not bright. Well, this is bright, but it's not the kind I like. Everything was burning, but not soft and warm, hard and cold. It hurt the creature's eyes and made it blink. And there were no close, comfortable walls, only huge open spaces with hard lumps and bumps under its feet. It was standing on a bunch of rocks. The creature thought this was very terrible and decided there must be a safe, warm place somewhere. So it spread its wings again and started flying down the hillside. It flew and was getting very tired when it saw something very strange up ahead of it. The thing was tall and narrow, with lots of pokey bits sticking off of it. The creature flew up and landed on one of the pokey bits and was looking around. There were soft, fluttery things attached to all the pokey bits, and they blew and rustled in something that was very cold when it touched the creature's skin. The creature was in a tree, and it was watching the leaves rustle in the wind. The creature looked all around and saw something. There was a twitch and a flurry of movement, and something small and fuzzy and brown skittered down the main part of the tall, narrow thing. The creature hung its head down and watched as the other creature ran down the tree. The creature ran all the way down to the bottom and looked up. The second creature, that is, the little creature who just hatched out of the egg is watching. The second creature looked up and said, "What are you doing in my tree?" "I'm sorry," said the creature, the hatched creature. "I'm trying to find my place." "This is not your place! This is my place!" said the second creature, who was sitting on the ground and looking very unhappy. "You're going to burn it all up!" "Why would I burn it up?" said the hatched creature. "Because you're a dragon!" said the second creature. "You're a great lizard with wings who breathes fire." "I am?" said the dragon. "Yes, you are," said the second creature, "and it's very strange that you don't know that." "What are you?" said the dragon. "I am a squirrel," said the creature. "And I'm a squirrel that's not going to have a home if you keep hanging out in it." "I'm sorry," said the dragon. "Can you tell me where my place is? Somewhere nice, like the one I just came from. It seems to have disappeared." "No, I can't," said the squirrel. "And you better skedaddle, or I'll come shoo you out of there myself." But it didn't make any moves to come see the dragon. I am thinking that maybe it was just trying to put on a show, to make the dragon think that the squirrel would come chase the dragon. But if you've ever chased a dragon, you know it's not a good idea to do it if you're a squirrel. So, the dragon nodded their apology and flew out of the tree. And they flew along, away from the tree, and down and down and down the hillside, until at last they saw something glittering and glinting in the distance. Their heart skipped a beat. Maybe this was a warm, fiery place that they could cuddle up with. They flew as fast as their tired wings could take them, until at last they came to the edge of a great shining place. It did not look like fire, but they thought, it does shimmer. It's entirely the wrong color. Maybe it's worth a shot. So they flew up and dropped down into the shimmering thing with a splash. Oh no! The dragon had dropped themselves right into a river. Rivers are not good for dragons. Dragons are fire creatures, and rivers try to put out their fire. It's much worse for a dragon to fall into water than it is for you or I. The dragon came clawing up to the surface, spluttering and sparking and steaming. It spewed out water out of its mouth and choked and coughed and tried to fly, but the river just picked it up and scurried it along downstream, and the dragon was having trouble getting its wings to work in all the rushing water. It was very terrifying, and I'm afraid it does not look very good for our dragon friend. But it's going to get worse. The dragon saw something looming up in the river ahead of it and bumped into something hard. The dragon dug their claws into the hard thing and scrambled up on top of it and felt very much relieved. They shook the water out of their wings and huddled down, hoping the sunshine would warm them up. They didn't realize yet that it was sunshine, but it somehow felt warmer than the cold water had. So they huddled down and were waiting when the thing beneath them moved. It shook violently, and the dragon fell off into the water. And as it fell, it saw a great golden green eye blink open right beside it. And something spun around and caught one of the dragon's wings in something that hurt a lot. And the dragon found that they couldn't flap their wing or do hardly anything because it hurt so much. "Ow!" said the dragon. And the crocodile said, "Her, her, 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 her." The dragon realized when the crocodile laughed that the dragon was being held by something alive. The dragon tried to twist their head around and look at the crocodile, but all they could see was one of the great eyes. So they looked at the eye and they said, "Let go of me, this hurts." And the crocodile said, "Not on your tintype." And the dragon was like, "Please? This really hurts. I would really like it if you let go of me." And the crocodile said, "Nope, I'm gonna eat you." And that was when the dragon knew that they were in very grave danger. Because even a little dragon who has spent its whole life inside an egg has a concept of what eating means. Pretty much everyone does. And the dragon was like, "Please don't eat me. I don't want to die." And the crocodile was like, "Her, her, 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 her." And the dragon started to sniffle, and steam rose up from its nose. And the crocodile pulled the dragon's wing farther into its mouth so that the dragon was almost in between its teeth. And the dragon thought, "This is not how things are supposed to go." And then it remembered something. And it shouted, the dragon shouted, "Stop! I'm the dragon! You need to let go of me now." And the crocodile was like, "Why?" And the dragon was like, "Because I'm a dragon, and I'm going to burn you up if you don't." And the crocodile was like, "Ho, ho, 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 ho," and just laughed and laughed and laughed, but never opened its mouth. And just as the crocodile was finishing laughing and getting ready to suck the dragon into its teeth, the dragon bent their head around, looked straight into the crocodile's great laughing eye, and breathed fire with all their might. And the crocodile screamed and opened its jaws wide, and the dragon flew up into the air as fast and as hard as it could. And the crocodile splashed and jumped and tried to catch the dragon again, but the dragon was away and off, flying towards the bank of the river as fast as their wings could carry them. So the dragon escaped the crocodile and flew up over the bank and didn't stop flying until it was far, far away from the river. And then it just couldn't fly anymore, and the dragon fell down to the ground and lay there in a heap and thought, "That was very terrible," and went to sleep. And when the dragon woke up, they looked up and their breath stopped short. Because there was a great shape looming over them. Huge and long and dark, and a great golden green eye was looking down at them. And the dragon thought, "Oh no, it found me." And a voice said, "Hello, Pinster." And the dragon looked up and saw that this was not the same creature as the crocodile. This creature was much bigger and scarier looking. It was even longer, and it had wings like the dragon did. And it was looking down at the dragon, and fire was sneaking around its lips. And the dragon thought, "Oh, do crocodiles get bigger?" But the thing looking down at the dragon just smiled and said, "I was so worried about you. You were gone for so long." And the dragon looked up and said, "What do you mean? Are you going to eat me? 'Cause I can breathe fire." "I know you can," said the creature. "I made you so that you could breathe fire." "You made me?" said the dragon. "Who are you?" "I'm your mom," said the creature. "You're my mom? What's a mom?" said the dragon. "It's a creature who helped you come into existence and who takes care of you afterwards," said the dragon mom. "Oh," said the dragon. "Why did you say Pinster? Why did you say, 'Hello, Pinster'?" "Because that is your name," said the mom. "What's a name?" said Pinster. "That's what other people call you. You can change it if you don't like it, but it's what I thought I would call you because it seemed to fit." "Oh," said Pinster. And then they looked up at their mom and said, "How do I know you're not going to eat me?" And the mom smiled and said, "Whisper through the fire, I have seen your light. Rest here in my heart, my love. I'll make the world all right." "I know that voice," said Pinster. "You sang to me when I was in the warm, bright place." "Yes, that was your egg," said Pinster's mom. "Are you ready to go home?" "Where's home?" said Pinster. "Because the warm, bright place is gone and there's no more red fire and no more golden light, and I tried to look for it, and a squirrel yelled at me, and a crocodile tried to eat me, and everything's been very terrible. And Pinster's mom bent her head down and snuggled Pinster up close against her neck, and she said, "It's okay, little one. I just was gone for a little bit and didn't know you would be coming out so soon. But now I'll take care of you, and everything will be much better. And we'll make warm, bright places for you to snuggle in, and it will be okay." "Do you promise?" said Pinster. "I promise," said Pinster's mom. And that is how Pinster the dragon came to be born, and found their name, and found their mom, and breathed fire and saved themselves from a very nasty crocodile. If you would like to hear more adventures and stories with Pinster and other friends and characters, you can check back in every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday about 10 minutes after 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to having you next time.